Welcome to 21st Sports. Football is back, and so are we, and we're talking New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. These two NFC division rivals went at it in their season openers, respectively. Their first game of the season, Week 1, September 11th, 2016. And in Dallas, the Giants just barely eked out the win, a 1-point victory for New York. And I'll tell you, either the Giants are not as good as people have been saying, or maybe the Cowboys are better than they're being given credit for, even without Romo, as it took everything Eli had to pull off this victory on the road. Of course, anytime you can get a victory in division on the road, that's always a big thing. But it started out with the Cowboys were in the lead early, courtesy of a pair of field goals by Dan Bailey. First, a 23-yard field goal in the first quarter to put the Cowboys up 3-0, and then another field goal, this one a 56-yard field goal that made it 6-0 early in the second. But then Eli threw his first touchdown of the game, this one a 15-yarder to Larry Donnell, and that gave the G-Men their first lead of the game as they were up by 7-6. But Dan Bailey put the Cowboys right back in the lead as he had a 25-yard field goal to make it 9-7. But then just before halftime, Eli threw his second touchdown of the game, this one a 9-yard pass to Sterling Shepard, and the extra point was no good, and so it was 13-9 G-Men going into halftime. So a 4-point lead for the Giants. But then in the third quarter, the Cowboys took the lead right back as Ezekiel Elliott, the former Buckeye, ripped an 8-yard touchdown run, and that made it 16-13 with the extra point. So a 3-point lead once again for the Cowboys. And then Dan Bailey hit his fourth field goal of the game, this one in the fourth quarter, a 54-yarder, and that extended the Cowboys' lead to 6 as it was 19-13 with plenty of time still left on the clock, about 14 minutes. But then with just over 6 minutes left in this game, Eli Manning threw his third touchdown of the game, this one to Victor Cruz, a 3-yarder. His first touchdown in quite some time, as he hasn't played in about 2 years. But it was a touchdown, and with the extra point, this one was good. And it was a 1-point lead for the Giants as they were up 20-19. And their defense was able to hold on and keep the Cowboys from taking back the lead and keep Dan Bailey from kicking another field goal. And so the Giants win on the road in division 20-19. So it's always good to get a victory on the road, but it took everything they had, and that was going against a Romo-less Cowboys. So the Cowboys actually had some really, they lost. It always, it sucks to lose, but they did have some bright spots and a lot of good things to take away from this game. The fact that they came so close to beating the Giants. Of course, I noticed in the NFC East, it seems that when these division rivalry games happen, a lot of times you see the road team winning. And don't be shocked if the Cowboys turn around and go into New York and pull off a victory later on down the road. But we shall see. As for this game, though, Eli, 3 touchdowns, not a lot of yards, just 207. He was 19 for 28. He did have 1 interception. Rashad Jennings had 18 carries for 75 yards. Shane Vereen, 6 carries for 38 yards. Vereen also had 3 catches for 23 yards, giving him 61 total yards on the game. Odell Beckham Jr., 4 catches for 73 yards. Shepard had 3 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. And Victor Cruz, 4 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown. And of course, Larry Donnell had that 15-yard touchdown reception. That was his only reception of the game. For the Cowboys, Dak Prescott looked good in his first start under center for the Cowboys. He was 25 for 45, not the best completion percentage, but he did not throw an interception. He didn't throw a touchdown either, though. He had 227 total passing yards in the game. But all things considered, I thought Prescott actually did pretty good in this game. He also had 12 yards off of 2 carries. And Ezekiel Elliott, 20 carries, but just 51 yards. He did have a touchdown. He's going to have more production, although the 20 carries was nice to get out of him, but only 51 yards. He's 20 carries, you should be just shy of 100 or over. But Morris, 7 carries for 35 yards. Jason Witten, 9 catches for 66 yards. And Cole Beasley, 8 catches for 65 yards. And we look at the defense. Chandrick had a sack for the Cowboys. It's the only sack of the game. And then actually there was 2 sacks, rather. Chandrick had a sack, and Mayawa, probably saying his name wrong, he had a sack also. So if someone wants to comment about how I don't know how to pronounce names, but hey, if you listen to announcers, they all say everyone's name different. But you just don't notice because you're not paying attention. But anyway, 24 first downs for the Cowboys, 18 first downs for the Giants. Third down, this is actually where I thought Prescott looked pretty good on third down, is they converted 10 third downs, 10 for 17, 58% conversion rate for the Cowboys on third down. The Giants 5 for 10. They were 50% on third down. And we look at total net yards, 328 for the Cowboys, 316 for the Giants. And on the ground, the Giants 113 netted, 101 netted for the Cowboys. Of course, the Giants actually averaged more than a yard more per rushing play with 4.7 yards per rushing play versus just 3.4 for the Cowboys. And through the air, the Cowboys netted 227 as they didn't allow any sacks, and the Giants netted 203. Eli was sacked twice, losing 4 yards. 4 yards isn't too bad. But the penalties, 6 penalties against the Cowboys for 50 yards, 4 penalties against the Giants for 40 yards. The Giants did fumble the ball once, but they recovered their own fumble. But where the Giants really were getting things together and coming up clutch was in the red zone, as they were 3 for 3 in the red zone, 100%. Eli getting it done. When he could smell the end zone, he got it in there. And for the Cowboys, though, they were struggling in the red zone. That's where they were exposed a little bit, as they were just 1 for 3, just 33% in the red zone. It's the Giants' defense stepping up big down there and turning that red zone into the dead zone. But the Cowboys did win the battle of the time of possession, as they had the ball quite a lot. That's just saying, Zeke didn't have a lot of yards, but he was eating that clock. But 36 minutes and 43 seconds time of possession for the Cowboys, 23 minutes, 17 seconds for the Giants. The Giants proved they don't even need the ball. They're like, yeah, we don't even need the ball. We only need 23 minutes to put up 20 points. They put up almost a point per minute. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Let me know which plays and performances stuck out to you. Thank you once again for listening. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you're having a good day and having a great weekend and enjoying all the sports.